Hello everyone, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Also, I am in Florida at the moment. I am staying just outside of Disney World. We're taking my niece to Disney. So I'm filming this on my phone, which is a slightly different setup to how I would be on my camera. So I just need to remember where you are. Make sure to look at you. So I'm currently wearing a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt because we're seeing Fantasmic tonight. So it's like coming up to 12:30 in Florida. So add on 5 hours, so it's about 5:30 in the UK at the moment. Today's book, let's get it up. God, I got such a dirty sense of humour sometimes. The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. There we go, that is your front cover. Just read that blurb to you. Midsummer 2017. Teenage mum Tallulah heads out on a date, leaving her baby son at home with her mother Kim. At 11 p.m, she sends her mum a text message. At 4:30 a.m, Kim awakens to discover that Tallulah has not come home. Friends tell her that Tallulah was last seen heading to a pool party at a house in the woods nearby called Dark Place. Tallulah never returns. 2018, walking in the woods behind the boarding school where her boyfriend had just started as a head teacher, Sophie sees a sign nailed to a fence. A sign that says, "Dig here." So it's 480 pages in crime and thriller fiction, target audience adult. I like the fact that there's a quote underneath that says, "The only thing predictable about this ending is how unpredictable it is." I'll admit, I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. And when the twisty stuff was happening, it was just like, I definitely did not see any of this coming. So yeah, you've got your two timelines, 2018, Sophie and her husband, who is the new head teacher at the school. And then you're also going back to 2017, where you're seeing the few months leading up to the night that Tallulah and her boyfriend disappeared. So yeah, Tallulah is 19 and she has a baby with her boyfriend. You find out that he actually broke up with her while she was pregnant and then kind of begged to get back into her life again, and ultimately once the baby is born they become a couple again. But through the Tallulah chapters you find out about a friendship with a girl at college, how controlling her boyfriend actually is. Like, he doesn't want her to have friends, he doesn't really want her to go out, and you see how Tallulah views that relationship and how her new friendship with Scarlett at college helps to kind of bring her out of her shell a little bit. And so you're looking at those two different relationships and friendships and how that goes on. So in the present, in 2018, it's a year on from Tallulah and her boyfriend going missing. You see Sophie moving in to a cottage on the grounds of the college where the head teacher lives, essentially. So it used to belong to the previous head teacher and the teacher before that. I'll admit I had my questions over Sophie's boyfriend a lot throughout the book, and I was just trying to work out how certain parts kind of fit together. I just find it interesting how different Lisa Jewell's books are, while still giving those little telltale signs that it is a Lisa Jewell book. I'm really enjoying her books. I think that they're brilliant. They're so good. They're so twisty-turny. I'll admit, so far, I think my favourite one was None of This Is True, but I did also have the added layer of listening to the audiobook with that, and the production of the audiobook was just insane. It was just so good to listen to, especially because you were listening to the podcast there as well and the documentary that was being made. But yeah, this was just a regular old ebook, nothing to listen to. It was just me and the words. And so I've been reading this while I've been on holiday, and it's just, it is just so clever. And having the two different timelines where you've got two completely different points of view, because you've got Sophie as somebody who didn't know about the disappearance, finding out about it. And Sophie is an author. She writes essentially cozy detective, cozy murder mysteries. When you think of like the TV shows, you're thinking of stuff like Death in Paradise and Shakespeare and Hathaway, stuff that's not too dark and it concentrates more kind of on the mystery. And she writes under an alias. She's one of those authors where she's more famous overseas than she is here. It's all set in England. It's when she sees the sign nailed to the fence in the garden, she's very aware of something familiar about how she finds what's dug in the garden, because it says there's a sign that says dig here in the garden, and she looks at that scene just thinking, why does this seem so familiar? Like, it's scratching my brain but I can't figure out why. And so when it comes out why that scene seems so familiar to her, it's just like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, that is so interesting to see how they're tying in basically Sophie's career with all of that. And Sophie's essentially the detective of it, even though there is an actual policeman involved with Tallulah's family that's left behind, which is her mother Kim and her son. There is a detective that has been trying to get stuff done, but they just need fresh eyes, which is what Sophie is in this book. She is the fresh eyes looking upon this scene. Yeah, I just find it fun that Sophie comes in as this detective writer, and she essentially becomes the one to reopen the case a year on, and it's just like, wait, somebody has put something in the garden at the end of the head teacher's cottage, and then after that something else pops up. There's another dig here later on, and you're just trying to find out like who was still there, who was involved on the night that Tallulah and her boyfriend disappeared. And through the past chapters, you are looking at Tallulah's relationship with the people that she ended up with on the night she disappeared, because there was a party, and you find out just everything that led up to the night she disappeared. Clever title there. But obviously it's not just her, because obviously they're looking for the boyfriend as well. And they were also aware of another mystery with a previous head teacher whose husband just walked away, and kind of like the idea like he went out for a pint of milk and never came back, that kind of thing. And so you realise there's a little bit more to that story than you realised, and that comes out through Tallulah's chapters and ultimately through a little bit of Scarlett's story. I greatly enjoyed this book. I'm trying to keep quiet because there's just so many twists and turns in this book. If I try to politely spoil anything, it'll just completely unravel it. So yeah, you just think of it as just a piece of string with lots of little knots in it. As one gets undone, it leads to the undoing of the next knot, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I always come up with like interesting metaphors to describe the books that I'm reading. This one very much felt like an untying knot, and as the knot gets untied, it unties a knot a little bit further down until it just completely unraveled, and you're just like, oh, it's all the same piece of string. But yeah, can you tell I enjoyed it? So this was The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. There's your front cover. Again, I feel like I haven't said much about it, but it's because it is one of those ones that you just need to read. So this is my glow in the dark top for tonight, because we're going to go into Hollywood and do Phantasmic. We had a bit of a sleep in this morning, been for a swim. My niece got me to go down one of the slides that she's not quite tall enough yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if she is tall enough for it by the end of this holiday. She is growing that quickly at the moment. So we're going in and we're going to have lunch at Hollywood and Vine so we can meet Mickey and Minnie. It's for my niece, it's for us too. Plus we've had lunch at Hollywood and Vine before. We've done Christmas lunch at Hollywood and Vine, and it was really nice because it's just buffet style, and so you can just go up and get whatever you want. And then we're going to do a couple of our favourite rides, because my niece's favourite ride at the moment is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and I'll admit I love that ride too. A couple of us adults do want to do Terror Towers, but I'm not sure if my niece is quite ready for Terror Towers. Admittedly, I was 7 the first time I did Terror Towers, and I loved it, even if the picture I look like this. That is basically what I look like on the picture, but I absolutely loved it. As I said, I'm really enjoying Lisa Jewell books. I don't know if there's any more here that I can reserve or anything, because I've done The Family Upstairs, The Family Remains, and none of this is true. So you can watch me reserve. So what I'll be wanting is Then She Was Gone. That's available to me in December. I can reserve that, and I can reserve The Girls as well. That was going to be available February next year. The audiobook of The House We Grew Up In is available in 2027, so I won't reserve that yet. Interesting about Lisa Jewell herself, it said she always planned to write her first book when she was 50, but she actually wrote it when she was 27, when she was made redundant from her job as a secretary. I will always promote Borrow Box as somebody who is very much a big reader but doesn't want to spend all their money on books, because I have other things that I need to spend my money on. Borrow Box connects to libraries, in the UK at least. I said this one is connected to Leeds libraries because I live in West Yorkshire. You can have 6 books at a time, but ultimately it works out as 12 because you can have 6 audiobooks and 6 ebooks at a time. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and goodbye from Florida again. And I will see you next time with another video. Stay safe, everybody. I love you all. Cheers, my dears. Goodbye from Florida.